story. I love Lucille so much, and we'll let Amy talk about it, but just the way that she's kind of, I don't want to say she's let Lucille go, but she's living her own life too. She doesn't walk around as Lucille all the time. She's living her life as Amy, but yet I can see Lucille too. It's really beautiful.
I mean, Lucille had a kind of a tragic history, right? I mean, a tragic story.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I mean, so Amy, what is that like for you? Is there a sense of sadness in reliving this tale? I mean, does that make you sad when you think about what happened with her?
Not really. I focus on the amazing things I got to do. I mean, I was a young girl. Like, I died when I was 14 as Lucille. But think if you're a little girl back in the 1920s when most families didn't have very much money and, you know, she got to dress up and wear makeup and wear nice clothes and got to have fun. You know, what girl wouldn't like doing that when you're 13, you know? And I got to work and know a lot of famous people. I think it's incredible that this little girl is the center of Hollywood, basically. She knew Mary Pickford, Jack Pickford, the Chaplins. She knew everyone, but no one knows who she is, but she was in the center of all of it. And I think it's incredible.
When you look at her story, do you see parallels in your own personality now?
Yeah, definitely. Even when I first found out about certain people, when I first read about Jack Pickford and first fell in love, I guess, with Jack in this lifetime, I was 12, and I first met Jack as Lucille when she was 12. So everything kind of lined up how it did. And when I was 14 as Amy, that's when I sort of let go of the silent era. I was really obsessed for a few years, and that's all I could think about. That's the only thing I could listen to, the only music. That was the only movies I could watch. That was the only way I would dress. And once I got to be 15, that's when I sort of just stopped. And I think that was me letting go of Lucille in a unconscious way. Because I didn't mean to do that, but that's how it worked out. So I think I'm just continuing that life because I would like to be an actress now. I'm planning on going to acting schools after I graduate. I think I'm just continuing that life.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like I say, when I look at you, again, in your photos, there's an energy, and your mom knows this too. I mean, as a psychic, there's an energy that you see in people's photographs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very distinctive energy that I think that is in your photographs. It's not just that you're pretty. There's a aura. You know, there's a vibe to you, I think, and to me, it screams actress. So to me, the probability of you reconnecting with that, I would think it has to be pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
Theresa, do you ever get nostalgic for having, I mean, as parents, we always miss what happened with our children when they were 3 and 4 and all along the way. But do you have a sense of nostalgia for that period? And, when she was, dressing up and reenacting movies from the 1920s?
Do I get nostalgic? Oh gosh, I've enjoyed this whole thing. Amy's my last child, and I feel like there's a reason she's taught me. I've learned so much about myself. Like we play off each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because this last 12 years as a psychic, I've grown and learned so much and just grown in so many ways. And she's been with me. We've been like this ride we've taken together, and I just think the reason she picked me for our mother was we were supposed to have this experience together. And the one thing that I'm really proud of and that I like about Amy is with Lucille, she doesn't dwell on the fact that she died really young. She really doesn't. She more talks about the good times that she had and the good memories. Because you have to remember she was worked to death. Basically Hollywood worked her, to death. And she doesn't look back, she's not mad about that. She concentrates on the really happy times that she had in Hollywood.
This may sound like kind of an odd question. And Theresa, this is for you.
Okay.
As a professional psychic, does this having a child who is on TV for her past life, does that change the way people look at you as a psychic in any way that you're aware of?
No, I don't think so. I think people think people admire the fact that I let her express herself. Actually, that goes both ways. Sometimes, not all people, but most people admire the fact that I've let her, kind of do what she felt she needed to do to get through.
And Theresa, do you have a website? Or if people wanted to find out more about you and your work, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
Amy's laughing. I have no, I don't have a website. I just hate technology. I have to do that.
Well, that's all right.
I feel like if I'm supposed to read for somebody, I will. I'm just that way. And
she doesn't like to self-promote. She doesn't promote herself ever. So
yeah,
that's the thing that she's working through right now, and that works into her past life as well, because in her past life she stole and took a lot from people. So in this life, she doesn't like to take from people. Even if someone wants to pay her for a reading, she won't accept the money. So that's something she's working through now.
I've moved past that. So self-promotion and taking the money and doing all that, I'm already into that. So it's kind of fun.
I'm getting better. And I'm finding that now that I have started actually charging people, I'm giving better readings. So that's just something I'm working through. We'll get there.
And Amy, your work as a writer and as, is there a place that you want to point people to online so they can find out more about you or connect with you? Because I'm sure a lot of people have to be doing this already. They go, wow, this is really interesting. I want to find out more about you. What do you do with these people like me that go, oh, hi, I want to talk to you? I mean, what is that process like for you?
I'll talk to anyone. If after the show, I got a bunch of people friend requesting me on Facebook, and I'm open to talking to all of them as long as they're respectful. Obviously, I'm not going to talk to them if they're being kind of rude or if they don't, if they address me in a way I don't think is the best. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm totally comfortable answering anything, and I like getting feedback from people, and I enjoy talking about it. So,
is there a typical question that you get more than any other? I mean, are there like standard questions that you seem to hear over and over and over?
Surprisingly, what I got the most is that people ask me about Jack Pickford a lot, which I'm happy about because I wanted to make his reputation better. But people think that Jack and Lucille were in a romantic relationship, but they weren't. So I get a lot of questions like, are you mad that you two didn't get married? Or questions like that, which I was surprised that that's what I get asked the most.
I think probably, if I can interrupt, sorry, but probably when did you first remember that your past life?
Well, that, but I'm meaning like with the show, when people watch it, they ask about Jack mainly, which I was surprised about because no one knows who he is.
And probably the mystery surrounding your death.
Yeah, that too.
If you watch old movies, even after 1925, are there people that you see in the movies that you have an immediate reaction to, like you either like them or don't like them?
Yeah.
That happens all the time to her.
Yeah, I don't like Errol Flynn. I just can't watch him. I don't like him. I like his son. I like Sean, but I something about him I can't do. Obviously Marilyn Monroe I'm very drawn to, but I think that's just a Marilyn thing. I don't think that's anything connected with past lives or psychically.
And she's drawn to people to child stars in particular.
That died young. Like I love River Phoenix and Brad Renfro, and I love the movie Kids, and I love the people in that movie, and they've died young, some of them. I'm just drawn to tragic people, and I think after the show aired, Lucille was put on a list, you know, those like 30 child stars who died young. Lucille was added with all of my favorite people, so I think that was the universe's way of putting us all together, you know, because I feel so drawn to them. I think it's because they're all part of the club. Like, I was the first child star to die, so I think it's kind of a weird club that we're all in, so I think I'm connected to them because of that.
Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story of my own here. You might find this entertaining, hopefully. There was a man, it was an actor by the name of Bruce Cabot. He was in the original King Kong. And whenever I would see this man, he would annoy me. I mean, he just made me, like, so mad. I was just like, and it's funny, like, I always had to, like, I just wanted to slap him, which is really kind of a strange reaction, right? There was just something about him. I just was like, you know, I just had that attitude. Like, he was like, oh, my God, I can't. Okay, so fast forward however many years. And Bruce Cabot lived and made a bunch of movies, you know, long after the 1930s. He made movies into the 1970s. So I find this, you know, I keep circling. I come up with Adrian Ames. Adrian Ames was married to Bruce Cabot, and they had a stormy relationship. And that was fiery, you know, there were issues, and they got divorced and got back together, and got divorced and back together. So my reaction to him was, like, really strange, right? I mean, I didn't know him for the man in the moon, right? Why, when I see him on film, he would just, like really make me mad, right? So there was another actress, her name is Lupe Velez, and she was a Mexican actress.
Oh, I love her.
And whenever I would see her, I would just feel this sadness, this tremendous sadness. Well, it turns out that Adrian Ames' best friend in Hollywood was Lupe. So, you know, that's why I was asking if you, when you see certain like Jack Pickford, obviously, when you see their image, do you have a reaction that doesn't make sense to you, that you later kind of figure out, you know, through history that they probably had some kind of connection? Like, say, Bruce Cabot didn't mean anything to me until years later, but I had those reactions instinctively. The first time I saw him, I'm like, dude, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. You know, you just make me mad, you know. So,
yeah,
it's weird. I mean, it's kind of strange.
I have that with Jack, definitely. He's probably my favorite silent film actor. I just love him, and I want to write a book about him someday. Like, I want to clear his whole name. And then, like, the Chaplin, like Charlie Chaplin, I love him. I love The Kid is one of my favorite movies, but I was never into him when I first started getting into silent movies when I was little, and which is weird because technically to silent film fans, you're not a true silent film fan if you don't like Charlie Chaplin, but I just couldn't do it, and since learning I was Lucille and I have memories of Sid Chaplin, it makes sense why I don't really enjoy watching him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. There was a silent film actress by the name of Paula Negri, and